Hi folks, Seven Rivers Racing here on KQEG, and it is getting oh so close. I'm Dan Dyker along with Al Losi back on the program. We got a lot of things to talk about today, coming out of the Dells, coming out of La Crosse, and coming out of Tomah, as we're fresh off watching Brad Worthman spin his wheels around the big track about a week or so ago, and some new improvements to the show. Not right here, but other areas you can find it now. We are on YouTube.
Yes, we are.
And if you type in youtube.com/Seven Rivers Racing, every single show is on YouTube, and as of this morning, 600 hits so far.
Yeah, and I got on there, and it was actually kind of fun to watch it, and I'm sure all the guests have had all of their relatives watching it across the country.
And it's good for the sponsors, too, the sponsors of some of these guys, because we always let them talk about their sponsors on the show as well. And so, again, it's youtube.com/Seven Rivers Racing. Also on Facebook, if you go to facebook.com/Seven Rivers Racing, you can join the fan page. And we are up to about 400 in 3 days on the fan page. So word is getting out in western Wisconsin. The show is on the air. It's on YouTube. And a lot of kudos. I want to thank all the folks that have been writing in with some of their fantastic emails. Getting warm outside, but I got a note from Mother Nature. Knock it off right now, because we had 80 last weekend. Here we are. It's been a nice week so far. Open practice for the first time at La Crosse. The media day is coming up in just a couple of days Saturday. And it's calling for a mid-40s, and you dropped the S word before we went on the air.
Yeah, we're not going to mention it, though, on the air. As long as there's no moisture, we're going to be out there, and I'm sure almost everybody else will be.
Well, I was out last year. I had my winter coat on. I had the little NASCAR coat on, so it was okay. I hung up by the snack bar quite a bit.
Yeah, once the car fires up, it's warmer than a fire.
Oh, yes, it is. Especially down around your trailer. You guys got a lot of heat coming out down there. I want to thank Lost Lake Beer, Carry Heating and Air Conditioning, Home and American Legion, and West Salem Pharmacy for sponsoring the show today. Got a big guest coming up today, and we're going to give you the insights into a little bit of one of my favorite pastimes is some dirt racing up in Fountain City. We've got the owner of the Mississippi Valley Speedway, Bob Tim's, going to be on the program today, and we're going to talk a little bit about dirt racing and some of the excitement they've got coming up. I had a chance one time since I've lived here to hit that track last year, and you want an overall racing experience, whether it's the cold beer, the snack bar, the nice folks that we sat around. I was up with your son that night and a bunch of drivers from La Crosse. Racing action was outstanding if you like dirt track racing.
Dirt track racing is a whole different skill set, and the asphalt guys, I think, really enjoy trying to go out there and conquer it, because it's pretty tough unless you're out there all the time.
Well, Brian was saying, Brian Losi, that does go-karts, he goes, we need to get go-karts up here.
Yes.
I would like to. He was chomping at the bit. He goes, where's the owner? And I'm like, I think he's driving right now because he's coming in a turn 2, but he wants go-karts up there.
I think that feeling of just shoving it into the corner and pitching it sideways is something just about every guy would love to do.
Well, folks, if you were at Oktoberfest last year at the Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, and you did like I did in the announcer's booth, and you looked out of turns 1 and 2, it looked very bright. Well, that was phase 1 of the Ag Society and the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway lighting improvements they're doing at the track. Just came down this week that phase 2 is underway. If you go out to the racetrack, you're going to see a lot of mechanicals and engineers, poles, and different lights going up. Phase 2 is underway this week from turn 2 down the back straightaway. Phase 3, of course, will be coming up this year. That's turns 3 and 4. And the last phase, of course, will be the entire front straightaway, but they will have the brand new lighting installed and in time for opening night, April 23rd.
And the drivers, I know, are very much looking forward to it, but it's just not the drivers that are going to enjoy this. The fans are going to have a much better program by seeing the nice bright colored cars going down the back straightaway.
Looking forward to it, of course. That's courtesy of the La Crosse County Ag Society and the 50-50 raffle. We've given away so much money every single year. They repaved it in 1994, redid the restrooms in 97, and those monies that you put into the 50-50 raffle and some of the other things we have going on, that's where the new lighting is coming from, and they are really excited to get things underway with a much brighter track. Talking about preseason construction, this just came down the grooves last week. The Dells Raceway Park is adding another lane. The third mile received a renovation this week, adding 10 feet of racing surface at the bottom of turns 3 and 4. And if you've been out to Dells and you watch how tight that could be, you're going to open up for some really exciting racing.
Anytime you have the opportunity to have more lanes on a racetrack, the drivers are going to use them.
They're saying that Dells Raceway Park officials and racers are confident that this is going to cause quite the shakeup this year, as drivers that aren't used to using the bottom groove, they're going to be using it. They're going to be forced to use it, and it's going to be one of those get out of my way because here I come. And if you look at Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway with Steve Carlson, who I'd call the master of the upper groove, this is really going to be interesting to see what happens when they send their first practice cars out May 7th.
And it's not just the upper echelon drivers. Sometimes a driver just actually enjoys driving a little lower on the track, and you might see a new star come out.
So that's going on at Dells Raceway Park. If you check out our Facebook page or bring it up on YouTube, you can actually see the construction out there. They've got a lot of the hammering going on, a lot of the separation of concrete and the reinstalling of concrete and some of the asphalt going on at Dells. And you can pop on DellsRacewayPark.com. You can see some of the video of what's going on there. And if you hit LacrosseSpeedway.com, you can also find out what the lighting situation looks like. And here we are just a couple of days away from open practice. And, man, I am ready to go.
We're almost ready to go. I know the crew is coming over early this afternoon, and they're going to work late into the night. And I'm sure almost every team is doing the same thing.
It's going to be 11 to 3 on Saturday. It's open media day. It's open practice day. You can sit in the stands. It's going to be free. If you get a chance to pop down to the pits, maybe find out who some of the new drivers are this year. A lot of shuffling going on. You're going to see some sportsman drivers in late model cars this year. You've got some brand new Thunder stock cars coming out. And, of course, you've got some drivers popping into a sportsman. You look at Bill Martin last year. Had never driven a race car in his life and came out and had a top 15 last year.
He did very well. And it's also, besides seeing the new drivers, it's nice to see the new paint schemes on these new cars.
You guys really topped it off. I was very blunt with Al in his garage about a month or so ago. He said, "What do you think of the car?" I said, "I don't like the paint job." And Al and I are friends, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna throw it. I didn't like the color scheme that they had. It's changed not because of me. But I tell you what, when folks see Albert Lossi's number 49 coming out of the corners this year, it is outstanding.
It is going to look a little different. When he came up with the design and had a little green lightning in the sides, I was kind of nervous, but it turned out to be pretty darn good.
It's going to be nice. That's one of the things I like. You know, the big splash last year was Mike Kennedy coming out with the Larry the Cable Guy sponsored car, since that's his Larry the Cable Guy's cousin, and the entire hood and the entire wrap was nothing but Larry the Cable Guy and the new movie he had out at the time. So that's the big thing I like doing, is getting the phone out, get the camera out, and snapping pictures of what some of the new cars and what some of the new schemes look like. When we return, we're going to talk a little dirt racing with Bob Tim from the Mississippi Valley Speedway up in Fountain City. They are getting ready for their first open practice tomorrow night. Yes, folks, racing season in western Wisconsin is upon us. Al Lossi, Dan Dykert. We'll be back. The Seven Rivers Racing Show here on KQEG.